All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with another educational video. I guess you could call it a Q&A type of thing, man. Another educational video because people are starting to ask me questions again about this muscle damage stuff, whatever. One of the somebody just asked me now. They go something about how do we get into an untrained something state. Actually, I should go look at that comment again just before I start this educational thing. I don't remember who it was. Hold on a second. A guy just asked me this question. It's something about untrained muscles. I don't know if I could find it. Or maybe it was in here. It was definitely in here. Oh, here it is. How do we make sure our muscles stay untrained to continue to grow? How do you make sure your muscles stay untrained? You don't. They're trained. You don't make them untrained. They're trained. You're in the gym, you're training, right? So are you talking about doing an exercise that you're untrained doing to get muscle damage? Is that what you're talking about? Or you're doing something very vigorously that you've never done before? You're untrained doing something. It's something you have to do that you're untrained doing. See what I mean? It's not, I have to wait, how do I make my muscles untrained? You don't make them untrained. You understand me? You don't make anything untrained. You do an exercise that you're untrained doing, and that's how you eke out an adaptation. Now, you can get an adaptation by overtraining the muscle. You understand me? But you can't be damaged already doing it. It won't work with a second bout. It's complicated. There's only two ways to damage muscles. But anyway, that's about the gist of it. So I'm going to get back to this. So greater muscle damage. I'm going to do a thing NCBI here, PubMed. Short version. Greater muscle damage induced by fast versus slow velocity eccentric exercise. So I talked about this too before in a video. Rapid firing. I say rapid firing. It means the movements have to be rapid. They can't be slow. People go, I got to do slow eccentric exercises. No, I have to go really slow on the downforce. No, you have to go fast. It has to be quick but controlled. Remember, you could get an injury on eccentric movement can give you an injury. You have to be careful with that. I'm talking about a severe injury where you're fucking out. I'm not talking about micro injuries. All right. So debate exists concerning the effect of a contraction velocity on muscle damage. Okay. The few human studies have yet to address this issue. Well, they have really addressed it because, man, if you're running down a fucking hill, 90-degree angle, you're moving pretty fast. There's going to be a lot of damage there, but whatever. Okay, this study examines whether the velocity of eccentric exercise affected the magnitude of muscle damage. It definitely does. Okay, on my experience, it does. That's how I'm already, look, bro, everything that I'm looking for here is based on my experience. That's why I'm able to find it. Okay, so when they say 12 untrained subjects performed a series of slow velocity isokinetic eccentric elbow flexions. So isokinetic, the movement is perpetual, but whatever. So 12 untrained subjects. What they mean here is this. These are people that are athletes, but they're untrained doing this exercise. Do you understand me? That's what they're trying to explain to you. Christ. They themselves are not people they just got off the street. Like I walked off some old guy at the corner store who sat there his whole life selling gumballs or something, okay? So, yeah, okay, so whatever. So they did this exercise on these people, okay? I don't want to go into the whole thing. It would take forever. I'd be sitting here forever talking about this. It's complicated. They're checking for peak torque, a bunch of stuff. It says here, muscle soreness and plasma creatine kinase activity measures were taken before, immediately after, 0.5 hours, and 24, 168 hours, 240 hours, 4 CK. Okay, after each eccentric exercise protocol, The changes in the measures over time were compared between FV and SV by two-way repeated measures ANOVA. Do you even understand what that means? No, not really. Does it really matter? Who gives a shit? Both protocols resulted in significant decrements in isometric and dynamic torque. Okay, that's good. That's great. Whatever. Showed significantly greater reductions over time. Yeah, there's going to be greater reductions over time. And a slower recovery compared to SV. Okay, yeah, that's kind of obvious. Whatever. Significantly larger decreases in and delayed recovery of ROM and RANG were evident after FV compared them. And they have to use fucking these stupid acronyms everywhere. So you don't really, when you're looking through this whole thing, it's like you have to read the whole thing now. Okay, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The bottom part is the most important. FV compared to SV. FV had significant. So slow velocity versus fast velocity. That's what they're talking about. Okay, larger increments in upper arm circumference and soreness compared to SV. Okay, so FV had significantly larger increases. So fast velocity movements, the significant larger increases in upper arm circumference and soreness compared to slow velocity and peak plasma CK activity was 4.5-fold greater following fast velocity than slow velocity. These results suggest that for the same time under tension, it says under tension, constant tension, fast velocity eccentric exercise causes what? Greater muscle damage than slow velocity exercise in what? In untrained subjects. The subjects are untrained doing this exercise. They've never done it before. But they themselves, they're trained people, get it, man? They do sports, they swim, they do exercises. They pull these people, they most likely lift in a gym. They themselves are not untrained. They're untrained subjects doing that exercise. So they can measure whether it's slow or fast will give them more damage. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain to you? Look, I'll explain this one more time. Trained individuals do not get damaged. So, look, if you're a trained person doing exercises in the gym, doing specific exercises, you're trained doing them, you're not getting any damage anymore, so you're not growing any muscle. In order to grow muscle, you need to get an adaptation, you need to get damaged. So what is a unique feature of untrained muscles? You understand me? What is a unique feature? Look, I'll bring it up for you. If you're not smart enough to understand this, what is a unique feature? I don't know if I could do that. I'll do it in a minute, okay? Fuck, because I got to do it on this stupid thing. Anyways. Time under tension. So, like it says here, these results suggest that for the first time, tension, fast velocity eccentric exercise causes greater muscle damage than slow velocity exercise in untrained subjects. Wow. Okay. That's enough of that one, man. You understand? And so why untrained? Because untrained subjects, what's a unique feature of untrained subjects? Well, I'll show you.
According to NCBI, a unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers.
And that's why they ask in their questionnaire, they ask these athletes, are you untrained? Have you ever done these exercises? Therefore, they're untrained because only untrained muscles get what? Damaged. Untrained. A muscle that is untrained doing a specific exercise will get damaged. But if it is trained doing that exercise, it will not get damaged. And so they cannot figure out whether SV or FV, if there's a difference in the exercise. Get it? You understand me? Because the whole point of the survey is to get this fucking damage. And trained athletes do not get damaged. who have done all these exercises. They're trained to a degree where they're doing all of them. You understand me? So yeah, has to be untrained doing that specific exercise. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you there.
According to NCBI, extreme or unaccustomed eccentric exercise can cause exercise-induced muscle damage, characterized by structural changes involving sarcomere, cytoskeletal, and membrane damage, with an increased permeability of sarcolemma for proteins.
So extreme. So this is what I was talking about before with this other guy. So the only two ways that muscles can get damaged if the exercise is extreme. I mean extreme, or unaccustomed eccentric exercise. And unaccustomed just means untrained. All right, untrained doing that exercise. You're unaccustomed to doing an exercise that you haven't done before. Now, I say an overworking of an untrained muscle. I classify it as that when I do a full upper body exercise. I do full upper body. I'm doing a lot of everything for every single muscle group in my upper body. That on the day. You understand? And it's not with a repeated bout. I haven't been in the gym for over a week or something. And so I come in there and I just do everything. I make sure that my body's healed up and ready to get damaged. It won't get damaged if there's any injury or something in those fucking muscles. Get it, dude? So yeah. So that's why if you are a trained athlete, can you still get this damage as a trained athlete in the gym lifting? Of course you can. If you do something extreme or you're unaccustomed to doing. You understand me? Or you've done an exercise that you're untrained doing. That's what they're trying to explain. However, you can't get damaged with a repeated bout of exercise. Yeah. You understand that, dude? I don't know if people understand that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. So yeah. And I have there, you could check my community section. I posted some stuff there. It tells you about athletes, okay? Yeah, okay, hold on a second. Let me go back to this one. So these results suggest that at the same time under tension, fast velocity exercise, okay, greater, da 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 da. There was something else I wanted to bring up here. I don't know, it was important. These results suggest for the first time fast velocity. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I think I took a picture of it. Uh, I don't remember now. Could be this one. Here it is. So this is another one. Muscle function after exercise-induced muscle damage and rapid adaptation. So I'm gonna try to post this one in the community section. I can't do it right now because YouTube's fucked. It doesn't allow me to post a lot of stuff. So this section right there, when you're reading it, it tells you a lot. It says performance of one bout of holy shit of performance of one bout of eccentric exercise produces an adaptation such that the muscle is more resilient to damage from a what? A subsequent bout of exercise. Well, that is definitely a given. So when you come back to do the same exercise, it's resilient from getting damaged. So they don't get damaged anymore doing the same exercise when you come back to the gym. That's why you got it the very first time. You call it newbie gains, first time you came in the gym. And then with the second bout you came in, there was no more damage because it adapted. It adapted how? By becoming what? More resilient to damage from what? Subsequent bouts of exercise. Get it? And how does it do that? By repairing and remodeling stronger. You call it newbie gains. Get it, bro? Yeah, man. People are really stupid out there. But anyway, that's just one of the things I wanted to bring up here. I thought it was important for you to understand that. I don't know. It's in this section here. But yeah. There's other factors too. So yeah, man, I don't know what else to say there. There's one about sports people, they get damage. I don't know if I can bring it up. Let me see here. No, I don't know if it'll come up here. Shit, hold on.
According to Physiopedia, exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD arises when muscles become damaged after exercise. This often occurs when an athlete participates in a new or unfamiliar exercise, when learning new techniques, or experiences an increase in the volume or intensity of exercise.
So back to what we were talking about when they talk about people in their studies and they say these untrained subjects, they themselves these people right here, like it says here, this often occurs when an athlete participates in what? New or unfamiliar exercise. So how does damage arise in an athlete? Let's say somebody's trained. Let's say you're a trained athlete. So how do you get this damage when you participate in what? New or unfamiliar exercises. When learning new techniques or experiences and increase in the volume, there's an increase in volume or intensity of that exercise. So that's why I try to tell you, there's two ways of getting this damage. When there is an increase in volume, like it's vigorous, volume or intensity of that exercise. You understand me? That's the only time you'll get it. And if it's a new exercise or it's an unfamiliar exercise. So unfamiliar, new. New is unfamiliar, right? New, unfamiliar, untrained, unaccustomed exercises will get you this damage. Okay. And then the other one is volume and intensity. Intensity and volume can get you this damage. But providing you didn't how should I put it? You didn't fatigue yourself already lifting the entire week. It works better if you take a whole week off and then you come in and you do something with high volume and intensity the following week. That's what they're not telling you here. That part's missing. Now, when it comes to new or unfamiliar exercises, well, you're not damaged. You're a trained athlete, so you don't have really any. You're trained. You're adapted. So you get an adaptation when you do something you're unfamiliar or new doing. Get it? Yeah. Okay. Now let's say you're an athlete, and again, too, this could still happen. Okay, you're an athlete now. It works better with a week off or something if you've been lifting already. But I mean, talking about volume and intensity, because you're kind of really fatigued. Your body's super fit. The muscles, fibers, they're super fatigued. That's the problem. Okay, so volume and intensity really works better if you take some time off and then come back and hit it a week later. And you'll get this damage to come back. That's what they're trying to tell you here. You understand me? So who's to say that these people are untrained athletes? They're trained athletes, but they're untrained doing those exercises. They were new to them and they were unfamiliar when they did them in the studies. So these studies, when they bring them out, people are so dumb they don't understand anything about EIMD training. Exercise-induced muscle damage training isn't based on sarcoplasmic training. Duh. You understand me? I'll explain this too in a minute. So here. For example, what is sarcoplasmic training? Sarcoplasmic is a type of hypertrophy, but it's artificial muscle growth. Like this one right here. This is from Frontiers Physiology. You can read this. The effects of acute exercise and training on the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Yeah, release and uptake rates of highly trained endurance athletes. You are now an endurance athlete in the gym. So sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Just a second. I'll explain this report. It gets a little tricky, okay? Wait, I want a shorter version. I think it's this one. This one's a better version. Oh, here it is. So muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks of high volume resistance training. Remember what they said, high volume and whatever will get you this damage. Okay. Man, I'll explain this in a minute. So volume resistance training in trained young men. So these are trained young men. They're doing 6 weeks of high volume resistance training. Now, it is largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Largely, they say largely attributed. Now, this test wasn't 1 week or 2 weeks. This was 6 weeks. You understand me? 6 weeks. So maybe in the first week, if they were unaccustomed to doing this particular high volume training, they've never done it before, they're gonna get some damage in the beginning, but it will rapidly adapt. And so the last 5 weeks when they're training, it's going to be attributed to sarcoplasmic because they've now become what? Endurance athletes. They're adapted, they're lifting weights in the gym. You're doing cardio. Really, you're lifting weights for cardio purposes, and your body will adapt by increasing motor units and androgen receptors, giving you more force production. You're going to get better at lifting weights, dude. Get it? Yeah. So, what is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? It's glycogen loading. It's a type of artificial muscle growth. When they say artificial muscle growth, they mean it's storing in your muscles as energy. So it gives the illusion that your muscles, you grew muscles, but in fact you haven't. So when all these guys are telling you in the gym you're growing muscles in the gym, you're growing sarcoplasmic muscles. Yeah, that's really what you're growing, a type of artificial muscle growth. Again, I can bring this up for you if you don't believe me. Yeah.
According to Nuvo Vivo, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a kind of artificial muscle growth wherein muscles increase its size visually by increasing the amount of fluid it can hold, but is not increasing the density of the muscle's fibers.
So there you go. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a kind of artificial muscle growth wherein muscles increase its what? Size. How does it increase its size visually? By increasing the amount of fluid it can hold, but is not increasing the density of the muscle fibers. What increases the density of the muscle fibers? Guess what increases the density? Muscle damage. See that? You understand me? I don't know if I can bring that up in here.
According to ScienceDirect.com, increased aerobic activity will increase capillary density, mitochondria number, and even myoglobin content. Increased anaerobic activity will increase fiber diameter and increase the proportion of fast twitch fibers.
Yeah, this is really cute what they're saying. Let's see, hold on.
According to Medical News Today, putting strain on the muscles through working out causes the body to repair them, resulting in an increase in muscle fibers. Having more muscle fibers will lead to greater strength and muscle size. Strength training can involve a variety of exercises against some form of resistance.
Yeah, and so what they're trying to tell you is repair. When they say that, they're talking about damage. So your training has to be geared towards that damage so that you can increase muscle fibers and not sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's based on EIMD training. I will bring this up again too. Look, man. Hold on a second. Exercise-induced muscle damage often occurs when the athlete participates. Okay, well, he already brought that one up. Yeah, that's the training. Okay, hold on a second. I don't know if that's going to come up. Maybe not. I wish the computer would talk. Background exercise. Okay, man, I don't know. We just brought that up. So that's the training. Exercise-induced muscle damage. Phenomenon caused by unaccustomed damaging exercise. So that's the training you need to do, okay? You get the point, man. I don't want to be here forever, okay, doing this. I'll see you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one, friends. I don't know what else to say there. Ciao. All right, man.